All right, it's just after midnight in Waikiki, Monday. Let's see, this would be September 21st now. Let's go see what we see. So this is a Monday night, just after midnight, so technically Tuesday morning now. Yeah, still there. The ABC store here by my house when I came down here at 10:30. Look at this. Oh, and she's coughing. So it's been a while since I've done something like this, but in the past when I've gone out and like taken pictures of the homeless and stuff, people have said, oh, you know, why do you just take the pictures and post them? You know, why don't you help these people? Well, for one, there's a lot of them, but I mean, I would really like to see something done about it. I mean, there are shelters that these people can go to, but they just refuse to do it because they don't want to follow the rules. They have rules like a midnight curfew. They can't have pets. They're not allowed to do drugs. So rather than follow those rules, they would rather just sleep on the street. And so as I was getting ready to go do this walk, I was thinking about, you know, okay, so maybe I'm not helping directly, but I mean, I am paying taxes that should go towards helping something like this. I mean, just my tour company, my little tour company where we have 4 tour vans. Right now I have 6 drivers that I employ and a receptionist. And with 4 tour vans, not including state and federal taxes, just my general excise tax, we pay just over $1,000 a month, $1,000 a month just in general excise tax. So that's going to the city. So, you know, that's money that I'm giving in my taxes that should go towards things like this, but instead it's going to projects like the rail, which originally they said was going to cost $3 billion, but you know, with the corruption and everything, it keeps going up and up and up to where it's now like over $11 billion. What was promised to be $3 billion. So I did some calculations as I was getting ready to see where that money could be spent. And I was thinking, you know, that kind of money could actually buy some people like a full-on house or an apartment. So here in Hawaii, I mean, housing is really expensive, but you can get an apartment here for like $600 a month. It might not be, you know, really great, but I mean, there are people that are living, you know, 3 generations to a house. And you know, once you know, this is Waikiki, so you know, I'm paying $1,600 a month for a 1 bedroom. But you get outside of Waikiki, it gets a lot cheaper. You get over into Mo'ili'ili, and it's possible to get an apartment there for $600, and you could probably put 2 people in an apartment like that. But the figures I did were just for 1 person. So $600 times 12 months. So $600 times 12 is $7,200 a year for that apartment. And let's say that you do it for 5 years. So you could house this person within an apartment that would actually fit 2 people. You could do that for 5 years for only $36,000. So you take that $11 billion that we spent on the rail, you know, from our tax dollars that went $11 billion towards building that rail project, and you could have bought 305,555 of these apartments that could have housed, you know, 2 people. So that's over 600,000 people that you could have housed for 5 years with the money that we spent on this one project. That project isn't even done yet, and they're already talking about making new projects, like building a new stadium. We have Aloha Stadium, the football stadium, but you know, they've decided that they want to build a new one. So they want to tear the old one down and build a new one. But you shouldn't do things like that until problems like this are fixed. I mean, that's 611,000 people that you could have housed for 5 years with the money that was spent on one project. Oh, must be somebody sleeping in the doorway over here. So it's security from the Hyatt. Made this guy get up and move. So it's 12:11. Oh, this is nice. This is obviously from the homeless digging through the trash. I'm gonna come over here, look at this sidewalk. A friend of mine posted this picture like a week or 2 ago, talking about how this sidewalk that is torn up has been like this for months, and instead of doing something about it, they've just put this this sign on top of it. This is the Waikiki Police Department, the Honolulu Police Department substation in Waikiki. So that's their offices right there. Oh wow, the restrooms are open. Usually those restrooms are closed at like 10 p.m. There's the beach. Right up here. See, right there is Jupiter, and right down there is Saturn. A bunch of people on the beach. A lot of the beaches close after 10 p.m. You're not allowed to be on the beach between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. But this section here in Waikiki, I think the hours are a little later. Maybe it's 12. If it is 12, then it's past 12 already. Oh, there's a guy sleeping right here by the coconut tree. This guy's got a hammock between the palm trees here. It is cooler and everything. And there's there. Oh, guy on the bench over there. Some people sitting on the catamaran. I mean the outrigger. Bunch of chairs. Looks like trash that people have left behind. I remember back in the day, at night, they used to run a tractor through here at night that had a sifter on the back of it that would sift the sand, and it would run up and it would, all the trash would go into the back of the thing, and then it would release the sand back down, so you'd have nice clean sand, and it was you know, silted, and it made the beach all nice and smooth and soft. But there's so much stuff on the beach now, from these guys that have the surfboard rentals and the chairs and umbrellas that they preset in the morning, that there's not the open space that there used to be in order to get a tractor in here to be able to do stuff like that. And so the sand has gotten really hard, like cement in some areas, and there's lots of these chunks of coral that from whenever they did the sand replenishment, where they sucked up all the sand off at the bottom and pumped it onto the beach. So some people surfing out there, they got their glow sticks on their surfboards. It's a full moon, so full moon surfing, avoid the crowds. Oh, here's another guy over here with a hammock between the palm trees. So there's actually two people in the hammock. One of them's on their phone. The woman yelling over there. There's a bunch of people down here. It's like a bunch of trash. What's that, like bottles, plastic bottles? A whole pile of plastic bottles there. This is our hula stage. Oh, I wonder what that van's doing there. It's almost like there's maybe somebody living in that van. So the hula mound, they have signs saying that you can't be on it. This is for the hula shows that they used to do every, I think it was Saturday and Tuesday or Wednesday, so like twice a week they would put on a free hula show. And I think that, God, I got something sticky on the bottom of my foot. Gross. But yeah, I think that would give like practice for the hula halaus to practice performing in front of an audience. So yeah, hula under the banyan tree. It's like twice a week. I think it's Wednesday and Saturday. It's a U-Haul with a bed in it. So it looks like that guy's living out of a U-Haul. And not supposed to be parked in here. This is a loading and unloading zone only. God, the guy sleeping on the bench over there, I could smell him from that far away. It's like, who would want to use these benches during the day, you know, for the tourists and stuff, after these homeless people have been sleeping on them? More homeless sleeping on the beach over here under their umbrellas. There's a guy on a mat there. Some more people under the umbrella. There's some people below the wall over there. There's some people behind the wall over there. Ooh, there's a piece of the gate that's busted there. I wonder where that's from. Right here, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, they just put up these gates on these things right after the pandemic to stop the homeless people from sleeping in there at night. They should almost just tear those things down. Because even during the day, well, I don't think those are even open during the day, but the ones that are, I mean, when they were, I mean, they would just have homeless in there all day long. I mean, they were originally designed like they had, you know, chess and checker boards on the tables where people could sit and play chess and checkers, but, you know, who's going to want to do that amongst the crazy homeless people that are there all day long and all night? Oh, I recognize this guy. This is the guy that was cussing at the security of the Waikiki Circle Hotel the other night. Had one of his pant legs rolled up, which is a sign that he's a drug dealer and that he has drugs to sell. So, two guys there. There's 3 or 4 more people further in on the beach. Mind you, this is after midnight. I don't think anybody's even supposed to be on the beach. Oh, there's some crap going down here.
I killed for America. Fuck you. Yeah, I will kill him. Thank you, Dr. Allen. I'm not going to take this. Fuck.
There's a guy behind the tree over there. Well, that's a mess there. This guy's beating up on a guy in a wheelchair. There's a guy there. guy sleep on the bench back there. Looks like somebody's sleeping under the bench here. Ooh, they've busted the gates here. I see somebody's busted that. Busted that. I wonder how much the city spent on making those. So yeah, normally, I mean, I would cut this on and off as I come across things, but I've pretty much kept it going because I would be turning it on and off a lot. Check out these chickens. Chickens right in the middle of Waikiki. And it's, you know, after midnight, you'd think they'd be in bed, but no. I guess because of all of the lights, it doesn't matter. Oh, there's a guy sleeping right there. So you hear the screams. That's somebody out in the water. Looks like they're way out on the wall. Some people sitting on the beach just, you know, enjoying themselves. But oh, so it's 2 a.m. So I think what it is that because I've tried going on this wall before and I've pointed to this sign saying, oh, I can still be here because it's not 2 a.m. yet. But this sign actually is for everything from here and to the right. For this part here, even though the signage isn't very clear, this area here, I believe, closes at midnight. So you can't be on that wall after midnight. But there's not a sign. There's not a sign here to tell you that, so it's very not clear. Oh, this one says 2 a.m. Notice park closed to public 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. So, I don't know. They told me I couldn't be on there after midnight one time. It's really frustrating because, you know, I like to do night photography and you know, astronomy, you know, where I need to be able to set my telescope up and get it guided, which just in that, you know, that takes like an hour to get it to be able to track the stars. And so in order to do that, I need a dark place to do it. And you would think that the place to do it would be a public park, but all of the public parks, except for these ones in Waikiki where it's 2 a.m., all of the other public parks, it's 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. that you're not allowed to be there. And that's even pullovers, like at Makapu'u Lookout, where the guardrail is, where you can look down on the beach. Not the lookout, but just the little pullover. There's signs there saying that you can't be there from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. The same thing with Diamond Head Lookout, that looks out over where the surfers are, because they consider that part of the park. I got into trouble there one night. I was helping a college student from Kapahulu Community College who was trying to take pictures of the lightning that was out over the water, out past the surf breaks, and a cop came and told us to leave. And we had just started a 30-second exposure, and so we were going to wait for that exposure to click off and finish. And so we were going to wait that 30 seconds before picking up and leaving, and because we didn't jump to right away, the police officer berated us for like 45 minutes. I had other people exchange information with me because they wanted to be able to support me in court if it went to court, because the officer had gone so far, you know, past, you know, what he should have done. But yeah, so most places you can't be in after 10 p.m. all the way until 5 a.m. So after 10 p.m. about the only place that you can legally be is either in your house or at a bar. Bars, I mean, I'm talking even pre-COVID, you know, bars are usually open until, you know, midnight, 2 o'clock, 4 a.m. in some places. So you can be in a bar all the way up until 2 a.m. or 4 a.m., but you can't be in a public park after 10 p.m. This bus stop over here is notorious for people sleeping under it because it's a nice structure. I mean, it's a big roof there that can, you know, shelter you from the rain and stuff. So looks like there's a couple of people in there. I see a wheelchair and somebody laying on the ground. But all right, I'm gonna turn around and go back the other way. So it's 12:36. Oh, hey, sleeping in the magazine rack that we pay for to put our brochures and advertising into for tour companies. So this is where those guys were earlier that were beating up on the guy that was in the wheelchair. The guy in the wheelchair is still on the ground. He's got a cover over him, a sheet. But yeah, those guys are just camped out, trash spread all over the place. Just living on Waikiki Beach like it's their home. And nobody doing anything about it. You know, the police station is right down there, you know, walking distance from here. Oh, here we go, Burger King. So, homeless guy here, homeless guy here. There's a homeless guy down there moving his stuff across the street. Because I guess at a certain time, they're not allowed to be on that side. And so then they moved to this side. But there will probably be more down this street here. So this is the Marriott. So those were the doors to a church that were all boarded up. Looks like somebody broke into there and they had to board it up. This is that church in Waikiki that has the A-frame roof on it. So they're all on this side of the street because I imagine that the Marriott here doesn't put up with them being on that side. So I guess people who are trying to walk back to the hotel could more safely walk up this side of the street in order to get to the hotel, unless they enter from the main drag over there. Because if this side of the street was like the other side of the street, and I was a tourist here in Waikiki, I wouldn't want to walk down there.